Hello, this is Chris Pratt from Eurogamer, and Total War Warhammer 2 has only gone and been confirmed. This video is best watched if you've already seen the announcement trailer that's just gone live, which you can see playing in the background right now, because we're going to be talking extra details based on an interview that I've just had with the game's developers, Creative Assembly. So without further ado, here is a bunch of stuff I've now learned about the next game in the Total War Warhammer franchise. Number 1, the maps fit together. This is perhaps the most exciting thing of all. If you own Total War Warhammer and you purchase Total War Warhammer 2, you'll be given the option to start something called a mega campaign, in which both maps are bolted together. We're told this feature will be arriving shortly after the launch of Warhammer 2, and will offer a Total War experience on a scale that we haven't seen before. We're talking about 2 full-size Total War maps being combined somehow, and I don't really know how that's going to work still. I pressed them for more details on things like how they'll tackle the time it takes between turns with all these different factions completing their actions, and to be honest, they wouldn't give too much away on that front. But yes, they did confirm that this is actually happening. You can play both games together. Number 2, even if you don't, you'll still be running into some of those races from the original game. Warhammer 2 will feature several sub-factions dotted around the map from old world races like the dwarfs and the greenskins, so if you're playing as the lizardmen, you'll still likely have a chance to kill some humans every so often if you fancy it. And as you're playing as the lizardmen, let's be honest, you probably will fancy it. Number 3, the victory conditions are pretty different this time around. We're not talking about the mega campaign here, which has its own set of rules, but rather the standalone campaign for Warhammer 2. As you'll have likely seen in the trailer, there's a big magical vortex playing a fairly significant role here. Each of the 4 playable races will have their own unique victory condition that's tied to it, which will involve them completing various tasks and rituals around the campaign map as they attempt to either preserve, control, or corrupt the thing. Now, interestingly, the AI will be pursuing these goals as well, which means you can lose the grand campaign without actually being wiped out by an enemy. It's a pretty new idea for Total War. You could be expanding and researching tech and looking after your armies and playing a good game, only to lose regardless. Number 4, that being said, world domination is still totally a viable option. You'll just want to make sure you do it before one of the other races gets too far ahead with their Vortex questline. Number 5, if you enjoyed all that DLC that came in the last game, both the free stuff and the not free stuff, you'll be glad to hear that Total War Warhammer 2 is going to be following a very similar blueprint. The developers are keen to keep drip feeding new playable races and heroes and gameplay tweaks at regular intervals, rather than waiting for one big content update instead. Number 6, however, there is one particular DLC from that first game that caused some amount of controversy. The 4th playable race, the Chaos Warriors, were offered as a pre-order incentive to begin with. If you did pre-order, you got them for free. If you didn't, you had to pay extra. And that didn't go down so well with the game's community. I asked Creative Assembly if they plan to do something different this time around with the game's 4th playable race, and here's what they said. We can't talk about it yet, but what I will say is we do listen very carefully to what people think of the stuff that we do and the content we release. It will be appropriate, let's put it that way. It's hard to really tell what that means, but I guess we'll find out as they do eventually reveal the identity of the 4th playable race. Number 7, the identity of that 4th playable race has got to be the Skaven, right? It has to be. And during my interview, one of the developers confirmed that the major locations that would feature in Warhammer 2 would include Ulthuan, the home of the High Elves, I probably said that wrong, sorry, Nagaroth, belonging to the Night Elves, and Lustria, often referred to as the Lizardman Empire. He also said we can expect to see the Southlands included in Warhammer 2, and asked him who lived there. He didn't want to answer that either. The Lizardmen are thought to be the major power in that area if you look into the lore of Warhammer Fantasy, although you'll also find a good number of greenskins, and at times in the history of Warhammer, the Southlands have seen its fair share of Skaven. Just saying. Alright, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this first delve into Warhammer 2. We're going to be paying very close attention to this game, don't you worry. So if you enjoyed this video, do give it a like and maybe stick around for more of this stuff in the near future. Cheers very much. Bye.